Anybody having any question from previous experiment that we covered last week? I shared the slides, you have the manual, I shared the recording also, recording of the experiment study relating experiment relating to the study that was also shared. So if you have gone through that, anybody still having any difficulty in understanding something, so you may ask now. Okay, if there is no question, so I will start of the lab now. Let me share the slide with you. So today we will discuss the next experiment, experiment number 5. So I'm leaving the experiment number 4 at the moment because that is relating to the performance on Pelton wheel. So maybe later on when you come on campus, we will hopefully you can perform there. Otherwise, we'll discuss it on the later stages. So today, as I mentioned, we'll discuss experiment number 5, that is relating to the study of the Francis reaction turbine. So these slides have already been shared with you, and also the recording of this study of the turbine is also shared, the video recording, so you can get that, and also later this recording of the lecture will be shared with you. So to make the study of Francis reaction turbine is experiment number 5. Those who are having manuals, so they can open this experiment number 5 so that we can discuss it. So first of all, you are hopefully now clear about the study of a machine. So study of a machine means to study the, to physically inspect the machine, physical inspection of the machine, to know the working of the machine, to know the components and their arrangements for the machine, and the functions and the working of each component of the machine. So this is about the study of a machine, going for the physical inspection, knowing the working of the machine, knowing components of the machine, and knowing the working and functions of the components of the machine. That is the study. So in this job, we'll discuss the Francis reaction turbine. First of all, what is a reaction turbine? So in our previous job, we discussed impulse turbine, where the total energy of water was converted to the kinetic energy or velocity energy, and in the form of jet of water, and that was used to do the work to rotate the runner. But in this case, in the case of reaction turbine, in this turbine, water is supplied to the runner with pressure energy. So remember this, reaction turbine is also known as the pressure turbine, because in this the main energy to do the work is the pressure energy. So in this, water is supplied to the runner with pressure energy as well as kinetic energy. It works due to the drop of pressure between the inlet and outlet of the casing. Water glides over the vanes and applies a torque on the runner, which produces the rotation of the shaft. So in this case, if you see this diagram for that you have to make in space of figure 5.2. So we have the inlet of the casing where water enters the casing, and we have the outlet of the casing. So at the inlet of the casing, remember this, the pressure is positive, more than atmospheric pressure, because this casing is airtight casing, pressure casing, and at the outlet of the casing the pressure is negative. I will tell you why it is become negative. So this difference of pressure between inlet positive pressure and outlet of casing negative pressure creates a pressure force or gradient of pressure that causes the work done on the runner, and it hence rotates the runner. So this is the same thing explained over here, that because of this drop of pressure between inlet and outlet of casing, positive to negative pressure, this work is done, and water glides while moving into the runner. It glides over the vanes of the runner and applies a torque on the runner, and finally we get the rotation of the runner, which is the final outcome to convert the hydraulic energy into the mechanical energy. There are two mainly broad types of the reaction turbines that we normally use: Francis turbine and the Kaplan turbine. So both have been frequently used in Pakistan for hydropower projects. Now, types of reaction turbines according to the direction of flow. So we have learned in our previous job that Pelton wheel is a tangential flow turbine because the jet is tangent to the wheel. But in case of reaction turbines, we can have the axial flow reaction turbine. That is, example is the Kaplan turbine. We have the radial flow reaction turbine, and in the radial flow reaction turbine, we have the inward radial flow reaction turbine. The example is the Francis turbine, and we have the outward radial flow reaction turbine, And then we have the mixed flow reaction turbine. All modern types of turbines are mixed flow. So as far as the axial flow reaction turbine is concerned, Kaplan turbine is an example of it. In this type of turbine, the flow of the fluid or flow of water is along the axis of rotation or along the shaft at inlet and outlet of the casing. So if the flow of water at inlet and outlet of the casing is along the axis of rotation or along the shaft, that is called axial flow reaction turbine, and the direction is in the axial direction. It is not radial. The second type of turbine is the radial flow reaction turbine. Now, radial flow reaction turbine is the one in which water flows or fluid flows at the inlet and outlet radially, either inward or outward. In case of inward radial flow reaction turbine, water enters from the to the runner from the outside, and it leaves at the center of the runner. In this way, it is inward radial flow reaction turbine. Water enters from the outer radially towards the center, leaves the runner from the. So, in case of outward radial flow reaction turbine, centrifugal pump is the best example of it, because it is just like a centrifugal force. So water enters the center of the runner, and moving radially it leaves from the outside of the runner. This is called outward radial flow reaction turbine. So flow is from the center towards the outside, outward radially, that is the outward radial flow reaction turbine. Now remember this, the modern types of the turbines, whether they are the reaction turbines or Kaplan turbines, they are made as the mixed flow turbine, in which either the flow is radial at inlet and axial at outlet, or vice versa. So flow is radial at inlet and axial at outlet of the runner of the turbine. That is, they are called the mixed flow reaction turbine, in which there is mixture of axial flow and the radial flow. Now, in radial flow reaction turbines, the fluid flows mainly in a direction perpendicular to the axis of rotation. In axial flow turbines, flow of the fluid is along the axis of rotation, but in case of radial flow turbine, flow of the fluid is mainly in a direction perpendicular to the axis of rotation or perpendicular to the shaft. Francis reaction turbine that we have to study in this, it is an inward radial flow reaction turbine in which vanes are radial at inlet and discharge is radial at outlet. So the vanes of the runner are radial at inlet, and water enters through this vane and it moves radially inward, and then it flows out of the outlet, that is at the center of the runner radially. That is called as a Francis reaction turbine. The main components or parts of Francis reaction turbine in the laboratory, especially, we have the spiral casing, guide mechanism including the fixed guide blades and the movable guide blades, runner, shaft, draft tube, braking drum, flywheel, tachometer, and the governor. Governor is actually the component in the field. It is not in the laboratory. In the laboratory, we have some other system, the handle system to control the movement of the movable guide blades. But in the field, we have the governor to automatically, mechanically control the speed of the turbine by controlling the movement of the movable guide blades. This is a photograph of the Francis reaction turbine installed in our laboratory, hydraulics lab. So you can see its various components in the photograph. So firstly, you can see this pipe, constant diameter pipe coming out from the pump. That is a penstock. This is the penstock. This penstock is connected with the casing, with the flange. This is a flange, and this is the casing of the Francis reaction turbine. Remember this, it is a pressure casing. It is an airtight casing. It has a pressure inside. Then you can see there is a Bourdon gauge attached to the casing. It is a positive pressure Bourdon gauge, which will give you idea that pressure inside the casing is positive pressure. There is another Bourdon gauge attached to the outlet of the casing and outside, that is the negative pressure gauge. This pipe is known as the draft tube. So draft tube is attached with the outlet. This is the outlet of the casing at the center of runner, and you can see its diameter is gradually increasing towards the tail race level. So this is called as the draft tube, which conveys water from the outlet of the casing to the tail race channel. So remember, this outlet of the casing means inlet of the draft tube. तो जहाँ draft tube शुरू हो रही है वहाँ casing का outlet है. इसी तरह you can see this red colored gearing system, and there is a rod and there is further handle with it to control the movement. This is basically the control of guide mechanism. This is used to control the movement of the movable guide blades. But in the field, instead of handle, we have the governor to automatically do this work. And this guide mechanism is attached on one side with the gates, with the gates of the movable guide blades, and on the other side it is attached with the shaft of the turbine. So when the speed of the turbine is to be changed, so this signal goes to this, and we have to operate this handle to accordingly change the flow rate in the runner by changing the movement of the movable guide blades and accordingly keeping the speed of the turbine constant. I will come to it. What is meaning of the governing of the turbine? Governing of the turbine means to maintain the constant speed of the turbine by changing the flow rate through the runner of the turbine. Another component you can see is the flywheel. It's a wheel-like component, and it has a heavy weight at the outer part, and due to this inertia, when the water supply is stopped, still it will keep the shaft moving for some time, and also it will dampen the variation of the shaft speed. We have the braking drum. You can see this at the end. The shaft is attached to the turbine runner from one end to the wheel, and then on the other end to the to this braking drum. It has a clamp to apply the braking torque, and on the other hand it has a weighing pan to put the weight inside. We also have this tachometer to measure the speed of the RPM of the turbine. So this is some components of the Francis reaction turbine which are shown in this photograph. This is the diagram that you have to make in this space of figure 5.2, that is laboratory layout of Francis reaction turbine. So firstly we have the underground reservoir, just like the in case of Pelton wheel we have this. So we have the suction pipe and the pump to lift this underground water, and this is the penstock to convey water from the pump to the casing of the turbine. So we have the pump, we have the underground reservoir, we have the suction pipe, we have the penstock pipeline to convey water from the source of water to the casing to the turbine. This is the spiral casing we call it, or it is also called as the pressure casing of the Francis reaction turbine, or scroll casing we also call it. This is the outlet of the casing shown having a negative pressure, and this is the draft tube. You can see its diameter is gradually increasing, and some part of the draft tube is kept inside the tail race level. This is the tail race level, and in the laboratory we have this underground reservoir. Water starts from the underground reservoir, it rotates the runner, and then again comes back to the underground reservoir. So this is the water circulation that takes place in this way. So this draft tube is gradually increasing in the diameter, and some part of the draft tube is kept submerged in water in tail race level. And in the field, remember this, we have the tail race channel. फील्ड में हमारे पास एक चैनल होता है जिसमें वो पानी को दोबारा फेंका जाता है और वो दोबारा रिवर में चला जाता है. So in the field we have a tail race channel, and in the laboratory we have the tail race level or the underground reservoir to which again water goes back. So this is about the diagram that you have to make in this figure 5.2. Another diagram that you have to make in space of figure 5.3, that is runner of the Francis reaction turbine with velocity triangles at inlet and outlet tips. So this is the inner runner inner diameter, and this is the radius, and this is the outer radius of the runner. This is the inner periphery and this is the outer periphery of the runner. Now because this is the inward radial flow reaction turbine, so water will enter from the outside. So water जो outer periphery से enter होगा, and it will glide over this blade of the runner, and then it will leave at the center of the runner. So this is the inlet of the blade of the runner, and this is the outlet of the blade of the runner. So at inlet, this is the velocity triangle that you have to make, and this is the velocity triangle that you have to make at the outlet. So you will learn this velocity triangle, how to make it, and their terms in more detail with engineer Vaiza in your lecture when you will discuss the turbines. तो वहाँ आप इसको डिटेल से पढ़ेंगे. I can just define these parameters over here and the triangle that you have to make in this. So it is a right triangle that you have to make at the inlet of the runner, showing that water enters the runner at right angle. Water enters the blade of the runner at right angle. So blade of the runner are radial, you can see at inlet, and VF1 is the velocity of flow at inlet. The velocity of water flow at the inlet is VF1. Remember, this is not always right angle. It may be different depending on the angle of the blade of the runner. If it is 90 degrees, entry of the water is 90 degrees, so then it is VF1 is equal to VR1. VR1 is the relative velocity at the inlet. VF1 is flow velocity at inlet. VR1 is the relative velocity at inlet. VR1 is relative velocity at inlet. V1 is the absolute velocity at inlet. V1 is, it is actually component of VF1. V1 is the absolute velocity at inlet, and U1 is the blade velocity at, or vane velocity at inlet. V1 is absolute velocity at inlet, and U1 is vane velocity, V-A-I-N, vane means blade. So velocity of blade and velocity of vane at inlet is U1. Beta 1 is the guide vane angle at inlet. Beta 1 is guide vane angle at inlet, and theta 1 is blade angle at inlet or vane angle at inlet. So VF1 is the velocity of flow at inlet, VR1 is the relative velocity at inlet, V1 is the absolute velocity at inlet, U1 is the blade or vane velocity at inlet, beta 1 is the guide vane angle at inlet, and theta 1 is the blade angle at inlet. Similarly, you have to make this triangle at the outlet. Inlet mean where the water is entering, and outlet mean where the water is leaving the runner. So in inward radial flow reaction turbine, water enters from the outside and leaves at the center. That's why this is the inlet and this is the outlet. So VF2, VR2, V2, U2, beta 2, theta 2 are the corresponding values at the outlet tip of the blade of the runner. So this is the triangle that you have to make in the space 5.3. Another diagram that you have to make is a section of scroll casing or spiral casing showing the guide mechanism and the runner. So this is typically the casing of the Francis reaction turbine, which is called spiral casing or the scroll casing. And this is the section of the part of the penstock shown. So penstock brings water to the casing, and it enters the casing at the inlet, and then it moves radially along the circle. And while moving along the circle, this water enters to the runner through the guide mechanism and rotates the runner in this way and leaves at the center of the runner. तो जब वाटर एंटर होता है पेन स्टॉक से यहाँ पे, तो ये रेडी इस तरह सर्कल में मूव करता है वाटर, और साथ साथ ये वाटर जो है इस इन स्पेसिस से एंटर हो जाता है रनर में, इस तरह रनर रोटेट करता है और सेंटर से वाटर निकल जाता है. नाउ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट यू हैव टू टेक केयर व्हाइल मेकिंग दिस डायग्राम इज दैट द एरिया ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ द केसिंग इज रिड्यूसिंग अलोंग द फ्लो. तो जैसे जैसे हम इस सर्कुलर डायरेक्शन में मूव कर रहे हैं, तो यहाँ एरिया ज़्यादा है, यहाँ कम है, इससे यहाँ कम है, थोड़ा सा यहाँ कम है, यहाँ आप देखिए एरिया फ्लो कम हो गया. तो ये चीज़ आपने ज़रूर ध्यान में रखनी है कि द एरिया ऑफ फ्लो ऑफ द केसिंग इज रिड्यूसिंग अलोंग द डायरेक्शन ऑफ फ्लो. सो व्हाट इज एक्चुअली डूइंग दिस? व्हेन द एरिया ऑफ फ्लो इज रिड्यूसिंग अलोंग द डायरेक्शन ऑफ फ्लो, सो प्रेशर इज डिक्रीजिंग, क्योंकि यहाँ एट द एंट्रेंस प्रेशर इज मोर. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस reduction in the area of flow, pressure is reducing and the velocity is increasing. So at the outlet of the casing, velocity is more and pressure is very low or negative pressure. Now the outside dotted line and this one, this is called the annular space, ANNULAR. Annular mean ring like, annular mean ring like, RING. So ये जो outer space है, ring like space है, annular space इसको हम कहते हैं. This is annular space and it is having the fixed guide blades. You can see these are the fixed guide blades and they are fixed in position, they cannot move. So what they do, they guide water to move towards the movable guide blades. In the next annular space, you can see this is the dotted line and this is the outer periphery of the runner. So between this dotted line, dotted circle and the outer periphery of the runner, we have the movable guide blades. You can see them. These are the movable guide blades, and they are having wickets. They are having the pivots about which they can move. So these are the pivot points, So about these pivot points, they can move forward and backward, move in this direction and the other direction. So these blades, they guide water to move to the runner. These are the blades of the runner, and this is the shaft at the center, and this is the key to the shaft and the center space where the water leaves the runner. This is the spiral casing. So this is the diagram that we have to make in this figure 5.4. Now coming to the parts, components of the turbine. Number one, spiral casing. As I mentioned, it is a closed airtight chamber which accommodates guide mechanism. तो इस केसिंग के अंदर अगर आप देखें तो गाइड मैकेनिज्म होता है, फिक्स ब्लेड्स, मूवेबल गाइड ब्लेड्स एंड द रनर. तीन चीजें इसमें के अंदर होती हैं. फिक्स ब्लेड्स एंड द मूवेबल गाइड ब्लेड्स, दे आर कॉल्ड एज अ गाइड मैकेनिज्म. So casing accommodates the guide mechanism and runner. Cross-sectional area of casing reduces in the direction of flow, as I mentioned, which converts pressure energy of water into kinetic energy. Pressure energy at inlet of the casing is above atmospheric, that is positive pressure, and at outlet of the casing it is below atmospheric, that is a negative pressure. तो ये मैंने चीजें पहले explain कर दी हुई हैं. Guide mechanism, these are the guide blades which guide water to flow towards the runner with least losses of energy. तो इसलिए इनको प्रोवाइड किया जाता है ताकि लॉसेस कम से कम हो और शॉकलेस एंट्री हो जाए रनर की तरफ वाटर की. गाइड मैकेनिज्म कंसिस्ट ऑफ फॉलोइंग: फिक्स्ड गाइड ब्लेड्स एंड मूवेबल गाइड ब्लेड्स. फिक्स्ड गाइड ब्लेड्स आर द वन which are fixed in position and they guide the flow of water towards the movable guide blade in proper direction with minimum loss of energy. तो यहाँ से जो है वाटर जो है गुजर के मूवेबल गाइड ब्लेड की तरफ जाएगा. तो ये सबसे पहले जो है, दे आर द फर्स्ट वन टू टेक केयर ऑफ द वाटर एंटरिंग द रनर. मूवेबल गाइड ब्लेड्स consist of number of blades which can rotate about their frictionless pivots. Function is to guide water coming from the fixed guide blades to the runner in proper direction for shockless entry to the runner. So these movable guide blades, they guide water to the runner. To regulate the flow of water to the runner and to maintain the constant speed of turbine. So this is the main component, main part of to play for the movable guide blade. So if you can change the opening of the movable guide blades, we can open them and close them, and accordingly we can control or regulate the flow rate to the runner. तो इनको कम या ज़्यादा करके इनकी ओपनिंग को हम जो वाटर फ्लो रेट है रनर के अंदर वो उसको कम या ज़्यादा कर सकते हैं. And we do it in the field by governor, and in the laboratory we have the gearing system and the handle to do it. And in this way we maintain the constant speed of turbine. This is the purpose of this, that whenever actually on the turbine the load varies. Load means the power generation or electricity. So all the time it fluctuates. Sometimes we need more electricity, so accordingly we need more speed, you can say water flow rate to the runner, and sometimes we need less electricity, so accordingly we need to have the less flow to the runner. So this is called as the load on the turbine, mean how much electricity is being produced, more or less. So if we need more electricity, it is called the case of load acceptance, and if we need less electricity generated, so it is called load rejection. So load on the turbine varies, and when the load on the turbine varies, as I mentioned or explained, the speed of the turbine also tends to be varied. तो जब लोड वेरी करता है तो उसकी वजह से क्या होता है कि टरबाइन की जो स्पीड है वो भी कम या ज़्यादा हो सकती है. बट रिमेंबर दिस, एवरी टरबाइन हैज़ अ स्पीड एट विच एफिशिएंसी इज मैक्सिमम. तो एक ऐसी स्पीड होती है टरबाइन की जिस पे एफिशिएंसी मैक्सिमम होती है, एंड वी ऑलवेज कीप दैट स्पीड ऑफ द टरबाइन टू कीप द मैक्सिमम एफिशिएंसी ऑफ द टरबाइन. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ नॉर्मल स्पीड ऑफ टरबाइन. नॉर्मल स्पीड ऑफ टरबाइन. Normal speed of turbine is the one in which at which the efficiency of turbine is maximum, and we always keep this constant speed of the turbine, and this is done by providing the governor in the field, that whenever load is varied on the turbine it tends to change the speed, but with the help of governor the speed is kept constant and only the flow rate to the runner is changed. तो speed वही रखते हैं, सिर्फ रनर पे फ्लो रेट को चेंज कर देते हैं बाय चेंजिंग द ओपनिंग ऑफ द मूवेबल गाइड ब्लेड्स। तो ये इसका बहुत बड़ा एक फंक्शन है मूवेबल गाइड ब्लेड का। इट कीप्स द कांस्टेंट स्पीड ऑफ द टरबाइन बाय रेगुलेटिंग द फ्लो ऑफ वाटर टू द रनर। Then the runner. Runner is a rotating wheel of the Francis ejection turbine, which is key to the shaft of the turbine. It consists of series of curved vanes connected with the circular disc on both sides. So if you see this diagram for the runner, this one, so there are two circular discs, 1 and 2, and between them we have these blades of the runner. So we have the two circular discs, and between them the runner blades are provided, which are radial. So these are the curved runner blades which are provided for the runner. The surface of the runner is made smooth to minimize the losses due to friction, because water has to glide over the blades of the runner, so they are made smooth. For low heads, runner may be made of cast iron, and for higher heads, it may be made up of steel or alloy. The photograph I have shown for the runner. Function is to convert hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. So runner rotates and converts the hydraulic energy into mechanical energy. Next is shaft. Shaft is a rotating rod supported by bearings. It transmits mechanical energy from runner to the braking drum. Draft tube. So it is a component which is not the part of the Pelton wheel. It is only part of the friction turbines. It is a diverging pipe which connects outlet of the casing and tail race level. I have shown in the diagram also. You can see that. So it connects the outlet of the casing having negative pressure to the tail race level in the laboratory and to the tail race channel in the field. And part of it is kept submerged in the tail race water. And its diameter is gradually increasing towards the tail race water. So it connects the outlet of the casing and the tail race level. Lower end of the draft tube is kept submerged as I have shown in the figure. Pressure at the inlet of the draft tube is negative. Inlet of draft tube means outlet of the casing, and at the outlet of the draft tube it is atmospheric. So other part, the draft tube where it is ending at this point, because it is this water is exposed to atmosphere, it is not under pressure. So the pressure at the casing at the draft tube outlet of the draft tube will be atmospheric pressure. Function is number one, it enables the turbine to be installed above the tail race level. अगर हम इसको नहीं provide, if you don't provide this, we have to provide the casing very close to the tail race level. So that will be lowering of the turbine. So by providing this, we can keep the turbine above the tail race level, and we can do it without losing any appreciable loss of energy or head, to facilitate easy inspection and maintenance and to prevent the rusting. So if you install the turbine above the tail race level, we can go for the easy inspection and maintenance of the runner and inside casing, and we will also prevent the rusting of the main component of the turbine, that is casing. Secondly, as the area flow of the draft tube gradually increases, so it increases the pressure energy from negative at inlet of the draft tube to atmospheric at the outlet of the draft tube. चूँकि इसका एरिया ग्रेजुअली बढ़ रहा है, तो इनलेट पे इसके नेगेटिव प्रेशर होता है और आउटलेट पे जो है वो एटमॉस्फेरिक प्रेशर होता है। तो इसको ग्रेजुअली चेंज करने के लिए नेगेटिव टू एटमॉस्फेरिक हम इसको ग्रेजुअली एरिया को बढ़ाते हैं। ऑल्सो विद द इंक्रीज इन द एरिया ऑफ द ड्राफ्ट ट्यूब ग्रेजुअली the velocity is decreased gradually from inlet to outlet. At inlet of the draft tube, velocity is very high because pressure is very low, and at outlet velocity is lesser. So to make this gradual change in velocity from high to low, we provide this gradual or just like a conical shaped pipe. Next, the braking drum. Just like the Pelton wheel also, braking drum is attached with the shaft, and it is used to measure the brake power or output power of the turbine. And in the field we have the generator to do this. फील्ड में जनरेटर लगाया होता है और टर्बाइन लैब में हमारे पास ये ब्रेकिंग ड्रम है जिसके साथ इसको अटैच किया गया है शैफ्ट को, और इसलिए इट गिव्स यू द ब्रेकिंग हॉर्स पावर और द आउटपुट पावर ऑफ द टर्बाइन. One side of the drum has a clamp for application of braking torque, and on the other side there is a lever system arrangement for measuring this torque by applying the known weights. Then the drum cooling pipes, because in the braking drum we have the leather brake shoes which can burn because of the applying of brakes. To avoid this burning of the leather brake shoes, we provide the circulation of water through inflow and outflow pipe. So that is called drum cooling pipes. One pipe takes the water, brings the water to the braking drum, and other takes out water from the braking drum. So this figure is also available in the previous job number 3. You can see from there about the braking drum and the drum cooling pipes. Flywheel. So I have shown in the photograph, flywheel is a large diameter wheel having heavy mass kept away from the center and is key to the same shaft. It keeps the shaft rotating for certain time due to inertial effect. Even water supply is stopped, and also it damps the small discontinuities in the rotation of the shaft and maintains smooth rotation of the shaft. So if you see the photograph, this is a flywheel. So heavy mass is kept away from the center. So इससी वजह से क्या होता है कि once the shaft is rotates, shaft is connected with the wheel, so this wheel also rotates. Now if you can close the supply and runner is stopped, still because of this inertial effect of flywheel, shaft will keep on rotating for some time, and also because of the variation in the supply and variation in the load of the turbine, the small discontinuities in the rotation of the shaft are dampened by this flywheel. Next is the tachometer. It is the gauge used to measure the speed of the rotation of the runner in terms of revolution per minute. It is attached to the shaft through the belt and gives the direct reading. तो एक बेल्ट के साथ 2 पुलीज होती हैं. We attach this tachometer with the shaft through the belt, and it gives you the direct RPM of the shaft. Through this tachometer we can measure it. At the end, governor. Already I have explained that load of the turbine never is base constant, which will affect the efficiency of the machine. Governor is a machine which is attached to the turbine to keep the RPM of the shaft constant. It is equal to the normal speed of the turbine to keep its maximum efficiency. So as I mentioned, load of the turbine varies, and because of the variation, speed of the turbine may also vary. But to keep the speed of the turbine equal to the normal speed or constant speed having maximum efficiency, governor is used in the field. Governor is a machine actually. Let me explain this schematic diagram of the governor. You can see on one side is it connected with the turbine. So this will control the movement of the movable guide blade. There is a piston, there is a piston rod. If the piston moves towards the right, it will close the guide blade, and if it moves towards the left, it will open the guide blade. So because of the movement of the piston, accordingly, the guide blade opening will be decreased or increased, and accordingly the flow through the runner will be increased or decreased. Because if you can see further, it is tied with the pipes, one on the right of the piston and one on the left on the piston, and there is another cylinder in which 2 pistons are attached, one to close this pipe and one to close the other pipe. When this pipe is closed, this pipe will open up, and if this pipe is closed, the other pipe will open up. And again, on the above of this piston, there is a oil filled, and below this also oil filled. When this piston move up, the oil will go to this pipe and back to the oil sump. And when this piston will move down, under pressure this oil will go back to the oil sump. There is oil sump oil reservoir which is allowing the movement of oil from the sump to the piston through the gearing pump. So if this piston will go up, and what will happen, the other pipe will close, so pump will operate, and oil supply will go to this pipe, and it will push the piston towards the left. And if this goes down, this pipe opening will be closed, and this valve will be opened, and again pump will automatically switched on, and a supply of oil will be there to this pipe, pushing the piston to the right side. It is further attached with the fly ball, and this is another important connection of the governor with the shaft. So when the shaft speed is to be changed, this signal will go to the fly ball, either it will move this way or this way. Accordingly, this lever will move on the pivot, either this edge will be raised or this edge will go down. Accordingly, this will be lifted up or go down. So at the end, the speed of the shaft will not be changed, only the flow rate to the runner will be changed. This is how governor functions. Now at the end you have to fill this table, so you can do it by going through the video recording that I have shared. If some data is mentioned over there, or you can leave it for the on-campus psychomotor assessment. Psychomotor, there you can fill this table at that point. But before that, you can make these diagrams so that you can complete your these experiments, experiment 3 and 5, and whenever you are asked to show and submit, so you can do it. Data you can fill later on. So now this is about today's job. If anybody having any question, please ask. Yes, any question from your side from today's job, you can ask now. So you should get these slides. The manual is with you. Recording is provided. Recording of this lecture will be provided later. So all this is with you. So you should go through it and try to come up with the questions. Maybe next time if you don't have the question at the moment. जी किसी का क्वेश्चन है कोई पूछ ले. चले ये कोई बता सकता है पेल्टन व्हील और फ्रांसिस टर्बाइन में क्या मेन डिफरेंस है. Yes. Any idea? What is the difference between Francis turbine and Pelton wheel? No idea. चले पेल्टन व्हील और टर्बो टर्बाइन में क्या डिफरेंस है.